Hello, my Star Atlas family. It's me. I'm back again. Let's get updated on what's happening in Star Atlas, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a video that was just released, I think, like 20 minutes or so ago. Let's have a look at it. And the rest of this video as well, we're going to look at the picture of the week as well as the new Star Atlas updates to see what's happening in the showroom and in Sage. Without further ado, let's have a look at this video, guys. We got some new animation. We got some very nice new animation. Testing out the X4 on like all terrain instead of like the hover mode terrain. We got some extra ships, the Opal Jet, what looks like it. And I did see the Calico. Yeah, look at that, the ATS Enforcer. It looks like a transformer. I think the I don't know what ship that is. The Nirich? No, wasn't sure. It's not the Titan. Yeah, look at all these. Nice 4K HD resolution. Nice, look at the Finbull Lobby. There's a lot of detail that's gone into some of these. This one, I wasn't actually sure what this one was. If you guys know, let me know. I wasn't sure what the purpose of these chairs are, like the sitting chairs, and then when you go into hyperspace or hyperdrive, or like go into racing mode, it changes. Now this is the Rainbow Ohm. We're starting to work on the Rainbow Ohm at the moment. You can see all the different compartments and how they're putting them together. This is the E-Up, of course. It looks grungy as hell. I love it. Looks grungy. Yeah, look at that. That was crazy, guys. Yeah, the Hero. Hero looks good. Especially that black skin. Now, this is the Mud Central Space Station with a whole bunch of jet thrusters behind it. And, of course, we have the racing track, which we'll be looking at today, and an aerial view of the racing track. Now look at this. I was not expecting this at all. This is the Calico Max Hog ground racing for you to be able to race already. So they've already made a small model of this, which is pretty impressive. I didn't know this was coming at all. Maybe we can have like a but there's only one ground Calico Max Hog, so maybe people will be able to change them, like soup them up a little bit, you know, little variations to see who can have the best riding experience. Yeah, so we'll have a look at that video later on, but first off, let's actually go to this little picture of an Ohm that I did see on the Star Atlas Twitter. It looks gorgeous. Look at it, my friends. It looks great. And then we have the picture of the week. Look at that. That is a nice Finbull air bike. That is a nice Finbull air bike by Mertcan 1D. Well made. My God, look at that. You got a nice rig there. You can render everything. Just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Okay, now let's have a look. Another picture. This is the Finbull Unibomber. The Finbull Ecos Unibomber, and it just this is the Star Atlas telling us how they take it from the concept art all the way to the finished product. So this is the concept art of what they wanted it to look like, right? When they contacted an artist, hey, we've got an idea for a ship, go ahead and sketch it for us, and that's what it is. And then they first actually started modeling it, so you can see this, the early renders of it in UE5, like just giant shapes, no decals, no textures, no detailing, nothing like that. And then it goes a little bit better when they start coloring it, when they start putting in textures, when they start putting in a little bit of the mechanics and everything. And then the last final stage when it's like finally complete, like all the animations are in, the VFX are in, that sort of stuff. So you can see there's a giant difference between the initial concept art all the way down through to continuing to make it, and then they're done. And I do like it that it is a little bit dirtier than a clean Unibomber. I wouldn't want a clean one. I actually want a dirty one because it is a Finbull line, right? It's the Finbull Ecos line. They're like terrorists, so it's supposed to be a little bit grungy. It's not supposed to be clean as hell. They're eco-terrorists, by the way. Now, let's move on. So today, not today actually, a couple of days ago, I think on the 14th of March, the Star Atlas team did make a mistake. They did come out and say, yes, a mistake was made. We're trying to rectify it at the moment. The big mistake was that when they put some new ships on the marketplace, they listed them at a very, very, very cheap price. Okay, so the problem is that when they have the scripts to allow the ships to go on marketplace, they only tested that script on ships that were below $1,000. And so when they wanted to put a ship that was above $1,000, people ended up buying ships for, I don't know, like $10 or $50 or something cheap and crazy like that. So this actually caused a little bit of a stir in the Foundation room where someone was calling like the staff member should be fired. I'm like, guys, calm down. It was a mistake. They're gonna fix it. Like, they control the SFTs, right? They've frozen assets before. They know where assets are on the blockchain. They can freeze it, no problem. So I think this was just a mistake, being honest. But you can go ahead and read this entire thing. I'm not gonna talk more about it, but they know they made a mistake and they're trying to fix it. So, guys, let's have a look at the timeline. What's Star Atlas up to? Remember, this is the timeline they gave us for the UE5 development. It goes up all the way till 2029, all the way to 2030, for God's sake. And I think we'll definitely reach 2030. So, let's have a look at the pre-season showroom. This is until Q4 of 2023. We have the flight and the racing module. We already have flight now, don't we? We have the racing, which is coming very, very soon. Multiplayer instances. The showroom does already have multiplayer instances. It's still beta. It's not like fully fleshed out yet, but it's coming. PvE fights and looting. So the looting we haven't seen much of, but the PvE fights are close because we can already load people into the showroom, right? And you can already do a PvE fight against a Wicked Thripid. So I think it's not far off. They've got the foundations there. They just have to flesh it out a bit more. And then face-to-face progression until Season 0. And remember, Season 0 is when we get a racing career, a fighting career, and of course, Sage. Now, Sage hopefully should be coming out very soon, just the movement part of it, right? And I remember I also did go and find this little bookmark place that I put here. I think the team are actually actively updating this. So you can see this is the Sage gameplay roadmap. These are the different releases they've put them into. So release 1 is movement, release 2 is mining and crafting, 3 is star bases, pre-alpha, and then version 0, right? So there's a whole bunch there. So let's have a look at the first one in movement, which is what we should be getting very soon, right? They say it's going to be on mainnet. Maybe I'd give it like 2-3 weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks. So far that's like March, in the middle of March, give or take, just maybe beginning to the middle of March. Fleet formation and disbanding, spawning and management. You're going to be able to warp, looting and rewards, bespoke Web 2 solution, web optimized ship models with metadata, galactic map with 51 star systems, faction central space station, 1 each, so you should be able to start in all 3. Faction security zones, 5-star systems per faction. Medium risk zones. Also, I'm going to go back to this one actually, where it says this faction security zones, 5 systems per faction. So we're going to have 5 security zones, okay? One of them should have your central space station inside. So you have your central space station and maybe 5 safe zones. After the safe zones, so that makes what? So let's actually do the math, shall we? So let's do the math. There's 51 star systems. There's 15 for 5 each of the things. And then you have 36 medium zones, okay? 36 medium zones. Now, if we say they want to have 1 faction space station, one central space station is 1 actual sector, or one security zone, then that's another -3. So we could have 33 medium zones, guys. Remember, there's no high-risk zones in this release at the moment. Okay, medium risk zones, of course, that's what we're talking about here. Star Path network. So this is the fast travel system where you can go from one Star Path connected port to another Star Path port. And SOS place. There is actually a placeholder until the distress signals come in and player to player are enabled. So this is I don't know how it'll work. Basically you might have like a button in your ship or something, or one small button somewhere, so that if you're stranded, the security council will come and get you, rather than me and the arcade coming to get you, coming to your aid, because they haven't implemented that yet. Yeah, so that's what we should be getting in the next 2-3 weeks, guys. You know, we gotta wait. It's unfortunate. They're still building. And speaking of building, this is Star Atlas issue number 16. Let's have a look. What are they saying? So let's actually have a look at this image. I love this image, guys. Look at this. And we did see this in the video as well. But you can see here, they've already started doing some extra work on the racing. And we just saw this in the video. I just said that actually. Nothing else really new. Like there's still 8 spots. There's some stuff around. This is like your loading area. Then this is the starting of the racing area. I am not a fan of this thing. You see this rail thing at the top? I hate this rail thing at the top. If anything, it should be like a hologram at the front here, so you can't see the race ahead of you. And that would be a great way, because I did see it's procedurally generated. So if we can have like a front-facing billboard where people go through it, and you know, you can have an advertisement of it, some guilds can advertise there, whatever, right? I think that would be something cool to do. It's like a holographic start, or so that as soon as they pass that, that's the start, or like the start of the racing line. So, but this metal thing here, ooh, I really don't like it. I really don't like it. Yeah, and nothing else to say. The foliage has definitely improved in this release. You can see here. They have made some changes. Before it was very low poly, low end foliage, but we know a foliage is coming in 2.1, and you can also see some extra foliage here on the side as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, nothing else to say. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. We'll wait and see. Now, this is issue 16. Let's go back and read. In this issue, they're going to talk about the decentralized economy, walking through high-level vision of how the users can acquire resources, craft the in-game assets, trade them, acquire goods and services, and much more. And so basically, I've read the whole thing. I've highlighted the things I want to talk to you about, because you can go ahead and read this whole thing. We're not going to spend time doing that. So I'm just going to skip all the way through to the things I've highlighted. So let's have a look. The beautiful horizon extensive work, a special type of analytical work that prevents the styleless economy from going into an inflationary death spiral. This is what we want to avoid. How is that going to happen? By constantly having Atlas being pumped into the system with nothing taking out Atlas, right? If you have like the US dollar, for example, that just keeps printing money, printing money, and everyone gets a little bit richer, sure, but in comparison to everything else, it's the same, right? If anything, if you don't get any of this money, you're kind of losing money. I think I'm going off a tangent here. I'll go back to the inflationary death spiral. The main idea is that you don't want a surplus of tokens when they're not actually being used for anything. And so that just drives up inflation. You go into a death spiral, and it's really, really hard to get out of. And sometimes, just like the US economy, you have to break a few things, like a few banks, before some people start to notice. Or becoming a dry desert of liquidity. They don't want that either. So liquidity basically means like how much money is in the system, or how much Atlas is in the system, right? Impeding trading and growth, and sharing the fate of many countries in Earth's history. So yeah, they're definitely keeping an eye on even Earth's history. As I said, I like to think of the US market as well. So at least I'm glad that they have that in mind. So they want to address kind of the Achilles heel of some of the MMOs, which is the introduction of raw resources in the economy. And if you control the introduction of raw resources in the economy, you probably do control the majority of the economy, right? Think about it this way. In normal MMO games, you just go and you kill a rat or something, you kill the goblin, and then you just get all the loot from them, right? Sure, but you're expending energy, you're expending time. But some places in some games, resources just come out into the economy, and no one really knows where they come in from. So if you can control all of that, and you can control where they go and how they get extracted from the economy, then you're in a better place as an MMO. So let's have a look. All in-game assets are the result of effort, investment of time, and dedication of players. I really, really like that saying. Nothing comes from the void. I really, really like that. That really tells us that this is like a long-term thing. If you want to be dedicated to your characters, to your players, to your organization, then yes, you will be further ahead than someone who wants to come in. Well, of course, people come in with money and they'll be able to buy their way in, but hey, they're spending their money, so they give it to the people who dedicated their time, investment, and dedication. Let's keep going. Over here, we're talking about raw resources. It will require players to create appropriate infrastructure, deploying time, capital, labor, while also having the proper storage, security, and management of their operations. So I'm actually expecting Star Atlas to break it all up into not all different NFTs, but to have a gameplay loop and cycle with all interconnected facets. So, yes, you'll need storage, but to have storage, you need to go and buy some material, and then you need someone to go and build it, for example, right? So security-wise, your claim stakes will be attacked often, so you need to increase your security to fend it off. But if you increase security too much, then you don't have much production output, which means you might suffer. So it's literally a business, right? You have to have an Excel spreadsheet over there and say, okay, I'm making this amount. I can spend this much on security. I might get attacked this much. This is my loss of productivity for the month or something, or for the week, and I can lose this. If I keep losing way more than this, then this claim stake or this land is not productive enough. It's not safe enough for me to keep going. Okay, and that's business. It's going to be a business. Remember, this is supposed to be an open economy, right? So the smart people that come in and set up themselves well, they will do well. Okay, if you're just blasé about it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for you very well anyway. A good example of this is how mining operations function. First, you need a claim claim a territory using a normal structure called claim stakes. We know this already, which will be responsible for establishing conditions for the basic infrastructure inside. So those claim stakes support a number of pieces of planetary infrastructure according to their tier. Power plants, mining drills, farms, shields, defenses, among others. The first strategic decision will be about balancing productivity output versus security and variety. Exactly what I was saying, right? So if you get attacked way too many times, you'd be like, I'm actually losing money on this claim stake. Maybe I should go from the medium zone to the safe security zone where like I won't lose so much, right? You might have to look at that. Look at it like that. Your claim stakes can be attacked by players and NPCs, okay? The Thimble eco-terrorists are going to come after you, which will directly impact production yields and demand supplementary investment in forms of repair, defense, and opportunity cost. Yeah, exactly. It's a business, right? If you get attacked, if you want to keep making more Atlas or more resources, you will have to repair your stuff, right? If your crew die, I don't know if your crew die in this phase of Star Atlas, but you might have to go and get more crew, okay? And all that time until you start making more Atlas or more resources, you're losing that productivity time. The prices of the different commodities in Star Atlas fluctuate with the open market, especially the one where the star system is located. So I think, to my understanding, all the different star systems will have local markets. So I have a local market here and a local market there. The price of goods in this local market will be different to that local market, okay? Until all of the local markets go to the major marketplace. And I don't know what they want to call the major marketplace, or the Star Atlas Galactic Marketplace, don't know. Where then the prices will start going to a medium, right? Because you will be able to find different resources in different places. So the opportunity cost, the infrastructure cost to get it from one place to another, they want to mimic the real world, right? Lithium might be more expensive here, but it's really cheap in the mine area, right? Instead of shipping it across the world. All planetary operations in the medium and inner zones of the galaxy are subject to taxation from the regional government of the star system. This is where Polis comes in. And hopefully, when the Polis DAO starts, they might be able to start setting some policy on taxation. Not in the early game, maybe the mid game, where people have actually started establishing themselves in the medium risk zone from the generating cost that, if not observed, may cost like, yeah. So if you're unable to pay your taxes later on down the line, it may cause a loss of land. Which brings in a whole nother question of land, NFTs, ownership, all that sort of stuff. Remember, we did talk about it before. Star Atlas can freeze and not take away, but they can freeze any SFT in the Star Atlas ecosystem. So yeah, you got to play by their rules. If you don't pay your taxes, you're going to lose your land. So you better pay your taxes. That's it. Now, a variety of resources. Let's talk about variables and how you can get your resources. Now, there's 3 of them. 2 we already knew from the Sage manual. One of them is kind of new. So the first 2 are resource richness and the resource hardness. Richness just basically means how much is in there, right? You can go ahead and read this. It's the closer you go to the middle of the map, into the middle of Galea, into the high risk zone, which there isn't one yet. So around the high risk zone, the medium, there will be a higher richness score for your resources. Okay, it just means that you'll be able to they're more potent, right? And of course, the more closer you go, you'll get unique veins and resources. Unique, so different ones. And then we'll go to the resource hardness. Now, they make the analogy that it's the size of the straw. Even if you find a rich body of material, right? 99% purity, right? But the hardness is about how easy is it for you to get that 99% richness, okay? They're saying if you have, it's a giant rock like this, it's amazing, but because your equipment is really bad, or you don't have expertise, you might only be able to chip little bits of the rock away, and you can have a little bit of the rock. That's how hard it is, okay? Or they're saying the size of the straw. If you've got a body of water and you've only got a small sipping straw, then you'll be able to only get up a small sipping straw worth, rather than a giant pipe where you put it in the water and guzzle it all up, right? Guzzling. Now, the third variable, which is actually a little bit newer, they haven't talked about this third variable, is the appropriate skill proficiency. So this is not coming now. This won't come with the first 2 variables, but later on in the future. So they say you will need proper experience and the skill set. And this is going to come in the career system. So the career system, they haven't still talked about it much. It is later on down the line. You have to train their skills by acquiring experience in the field. And the more you do it, the more experience you'll get. And once you keep training on them in the game and accruing experiences relating to mining, you might be able to mine rare crystals like luminite in the depths of the medium zone one day. So it seems like luminite is a higher tier, rarer resource. I've got to go and see the resource list to see if it's still there. Now it did something stupid and actually highlighted my entire bloody thing. Okay. So yeah, there's still a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm going to reload this and we'll go through the Sage items. So this is the Punab Whisper. I didn't spend too much time on the Whisper. Core episode 5 is out. Go ahead and read it, guys. It's pretty good. Let's go ahead and keep going all the way down. The Atlas Brew, these are the things they're going to be talking about. 51 was politics, 52 economics, 53 is politics, so the utility of polis. Now, let's go to the good stuff, shall we? Showroom 2.1. Let's see where they're up to. So, they started conversation with Kudelski about UE5 features. Now, I was actually hoping they started conversations with Kudelski ages ago, be like, hey, we're creating a giant-ass game for the next 9 years. We're going to be putting some stuff on chain. You already ordered some of our Sage stuff. What do you think about this? You know, they should have started that ages ago, in my opinion, but it's better late than never. Number 1, the Verlat Station Showroom. They're doing the ground racing track, which we just saw right there. That's the racing track, okay? Work in progress, working on the fence gate, which is the racing start, which is there. You can see there, I don't like it. I hate it. It should be something techy, something holographic-y, something colorful, something like that. Yeah, that's what I think. Working on landscape biome and props of racetrack. Checkpoints, gates, no problems. The train station, all good. They're changing the leaderboard from the old one to a new one, which is a common UI. The marketplace implementation updates, it's coming soon. They got exchange and canceling orders, optimizing some stuff. Let's keep going. Oh, I hate it because I lost everything I did. The X4 hover prototyping, which is the video that we just saw. We'll watch it again, don't worry. They're working on weight distribution. They pumped up the rotational friction, all of this extra stuff. I don't know what BP Refractor is. If anyone knows what BP Refactor is, let me know. Gameplay ability implemented. The health attribute set is coming in. Let's see what else. Gravity for train. Sure. Text chat. Global chat working in UE, which is really nice in the user interface. And then I think the chat optimization tool is still in progress. There's a save and load optimization for player profiles. The jetpack prototype is done, guys. So I wonder which type of jetpack we're actually getting. Remember, there were different ways that the jetpack was going to be taking you around, either with your hands or it was on your back. We don't know, right? So we're going to have to wait and see until there's another video coming out. They actually redid the ship HUD, speed, fuel, and heat bars, like Lyra ammo counter to save performance. I don't know it was impacting on performance that much. Yeah. They talk about each individual ship and what it's actually up to. We don't have to touch on that. But one thing I did wanted to say was that the Squid Octopus is ready to be implemented. The Squid Octopus, guys, we saw this octopus before. It wasn't moving before, so I wonder if it's going to be moving now, if it actually interacts with users. The Mud Miris and Oyster characters are in progress, and the jetpack is animation in progress. So upcoming activities is completion of the release of 2.1 scope. So not the release of 2.1, but the scope of 2.1. So 2.1 is still months and months away. Months and months. Maybe 2, 3, 4. Give or take. Now, Project Sage. Let's see what's happening. So they're updating the game design for mining and crafting releases. Continuing to work on the blockchain playground, which is not the front-end playground, right? Remember, they had to make like an Excel sheet for them to interact with the blockchain behind the scenes while people were building the front end for Sage in Play Canvas because they had trouble getting some developers. Let's see what else. Working closely with Web Team to provide design feedback from the upcoming release. Continue to polish the front end for the upcoming release that tests fully on-chain real-time movement and merge the audio manager. Next up for Sage, audit designs for mining and crafting wireframes and prepare for launch. So Sage, they're preparing for launch of the movement part in Sage. So how long do we give that? Maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I'm thinking 1 month. Say 1 month and then we'll be fine. So when it comes early, we'll be excited. Yay. And then, of course, they're also starting to work on the user interface layer for mining and crafting screens. Now, we'll go back to the actual release schedule. So movement is going to be first, and then it's mining and crafting. So they've already had a thought about all of this stuff beforehand. Now they're starting to... So I'm thinking they've already done the blockchain side. They've done the background side of mining and crafting. Now they have to put it all on chain, which is what we're discussing here. The DAO, not much else is really changing in the DAO. Engineering authentication for Web3 to Web3 login. Episode 5 is done. 6 is currently in the works. And the Play Startless website, something different I did see. Score claim stakes application. So that's in the pipeline. No estimate of when claim stakes will be coming. They are working on player profile integration, the DAC platform, guys, and faction claims. So yeah, there's still a whole bunch of stuff in the pipeline. There's a whole still stuff like this. As you can see, they're still working. It does take time, my friends, but we gotta be patient sometimes. Now let's watch this video again because it is a kicker. Now, the characters. I know they are just beginners, and you can even tell it's beginner because the hair goes through his entire torso. Right, the hair is going through his neck. Okay, but it's great. It's great beginning. So this is a Maurice character, right? And then this is a human character. And you can see they did change a little bit of the HUD. It is a bit slimmer, if I do think so myself, if I do say so. A bit loud. This is different, actually, because previously you could see the entire person as you were changing the character selection. But this one seems like it's closer inside. So I don't know if they zoomed in the video or this is what it's going to look like now. And the character designs and the colors, they need to figure out a better way. Yeah, this is just movement. Now look at the X4. At the bottom of the X4, you can see like the jet, the look of the jet. Yeah, you see that? The distortion. Jet looks great. Looks great. Just little animations. And the little dong, big dong from the Calico ATS and Forza. I wasn't sure. Is this the Neerich? I'm not sure. I think so, it's a Neerich. What is this? Is it solar? What is it? I don't know. What do you guys know? What do you guys think? Have a look. It looks like either it looks like a mud architecture, or it looks like Ursa architecture. It's not Oni. Okay, is it a solar powering thing? What is it? I don't know. Nice chairs. PS chairs. Now I think they're working on the arm mechanics. Now the ohm. This is great. I want to pause here because I myself own a rainbow ohm as well as a rainbow arc thanks to one amazing community member. Let's play this again. So look at the ohm. Look at that. So they're already looking at all the different cargo storage spaces, which is at the bottom here, and how much you can actually fit into one spot. It looks okay. It looks very rudimentary. They're still working on the concept designs for it at the moment. And then they modeled that little design into UE5 or just like a clay model, just to see. And of course, so you can see these ones here is the storage. Is the storage of everything. And then there's a bathroom. But these are seating areas. Because the Ohm I think is a transport ship if I'm not correct. Or is it a cargo ship? Oh, I forget. Freight, cargo, transport. I forget. Now that's like a seating area, which is nice. This is like the shower area. I think it's a transport ship. And then some sleeping quarters, not bad. I don't know what this one is. Maybe an eating area, maybe the kitchen. Then you have a little cargo at the back. So the Ohm actually isn't that impressive. Yeah, it's not that impressive now that I think about it. Ooh, still the rainbow ship, so it's still good. The EOP, on the other hand, look at this beast. Holy crap, you don't want to face that in a fight. It's gonna kill you. Don't know what ship. Ah, that's the what ship is that? Is that the Calico Hero? What do you think? It looks like it. Calico Hero or the Medtech? Yeah, that's a hero. That looks beautiful. That's a nice black skin. Black skin. This is just crazy. It just looks like they copy and pasted all the engines and put it at the back of the thingy. A little bit of variation would be nice here, because if I'm just flying at the back of it and I see one, I'm like, oh, it all looks the same. I'm not going to go ahead and look at the others. A little bit of variation in here would be nice, because look at it. Just looks repeated, copy pasted. And then of course another look at the racetrack. But yeah, I really hope over here they can change that into some kind of advertisement, or even you see this thing when it says 3. That whole thing should be blurred out. This whole thing should be blurred out so you don't see the track ahead of you. And then you can have a space for advertisement, for example. And then, you know, you count down 3, 2, 1, and then it goes clear. And then everyone goes past. Or it doesn't even go clear. You just go past it. This Miri's character is super early stage. You can see how blocky he is. And then there's no animation to go into the Calico Max HOD at the moment. But this is still great. You get to explore the showroom on land, which would be awesome. This reminds me of Mass Effect days when you first got the, I don't know what it was called, the Mass Effect vehicle. And then you can travel around and go to different spots and like find anomalies and stuff after you've scanned on the planet. That was awesome, just like experience of the discovery of it. That's what I want to have in Star Atlas. Alright guys, it's been 30 minutes. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble on about Star Atlas. Have a great day. Have a good weekend. We'll see what next Star Atlas has in store. I'll see you very soon. Oh, actually, before we go, I want to do my next video on Star Atlas frequently asked questions. So in this one, please post all the questions you think would feature in a frequently asked questions, and I want to compile all of them and answer all of them in my next video. So yeah, let me know what questions you have. Ciao for now.